I must say that I'm very under the weather. Um, this shit exacerbated my asthma because as soon as I saw him go flying out the ring, he was not pushed. Bernard Hopkins was not pushed. In fact, oh yeah, he was pushed by Joe Smith's left fist. When this fight was first announced, I'm glad that it's over because I had just this overwhelming feel of gloom and doom. And this was one of the worst possible outcomes. The worst outcome would be Bernard Hopkins being knocked out cold. But for his last fight, he is trending for being knocked out of the ring. He's saying he was pushed, but come on, in this day and age of high definition, of 4K, that shit was sad. Is it time? Yes, time. That shit was sad. It's still sad. It was a nightmare come true. So, I haven't heard what he had to say yet. We're going to listen to what Bernard Hopkins has to say. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Bernard Hopkins at, you might as well say 52. He'll be 52 next month. He was knocked out of the ring. Knocked out of the ring. And I'm talking about it was ugly. It was ugly. That left hand of Joe Smith. For one, Bernard Hopkins at his age, I guess he didn't take his cod liver oil pills or something, but he was ducking way too low. This was sad, ladies and gentlemen. It was sad. Philadelphia is taking another L. I can't take, listen, I gotta hold it down. I gotta hold it down. But let's listen to what he has to say.
Then he can become a real fighter because now having a big brother Bernard Hopkins should inspire him and his camp to get back in the gym and let the job go for a bit. Let's see how far he can go. He landed 3 or 4 really good punches on the great Bernard Hopkins, something that some of those other fighters we talked about were not able to do. Now I must admit, and I gotta say the same thing for the little cat that fought Lomachenko last, Nicholas. That time off hurts. The older you get, the more that time off. Still not fair assessment after being off for so long.
He chose to fight somebody with extraordinary power. We saw it as early as the first round. Joe can really crack. The last man he cracked was Bernard Hopkins, and Bernard is in the dressing room to talk to our Max Kellerman right now.
Bernard, thank you for talking under difficult circumstances. What just happened?
Hey Max, I think I was throwing a right hand or a combination, and then using the rope as an offensive defense like I'm known for, and I made him miss, and I believe I was frustrating him up to that round with a couple of just making him miss and touching him to the body, and every now and then he gets overhand right in, which was only big punch. And he got frustrated, Max. He got frustrated, and when we got in the clinch, and I might have got hit with a glazed right hand or a left hook, and going through the momentum, next thing I know, he shoved me out of the ring, and I tried to grab it on the way out, and I went straight through the wrap, and I believe I hit my head, but I ain't go out. But I hit my head first, and my ankle got hit when I hit the ground, a twist. The doctor said it's swollen on the right side of my ankle on the right-hand side.
Were you aware?
The ice on the other side, y'all. I got the ice on the left side. Put on the outside right.
Were you aware that?
Right there.
Were you aware that you had 20 seconds to get back in the ring by rule once you were out of the ring?
Yeah, but I couldn't I couldn't stand up on my feet. But nobody said 20 seconds like that. They said, "Can you go? Can you continue?" And he said, "Is your ankle all right?" And I said, "No." And he said, "All right." And he said, "Okay, what you want to do?" And I said, "Let's go back." And he said, "All right, can you walk?" I said, "Yeah, but I can't box on it because my leg is throbbing. I felt it doing this, like a bad toothache."
You've been able.
It's like when you get hit with a low blow, you got, I guess, you said 20 seconds or whatever to get in the ring, but I had a choice to make, and I guess the referee wanted to make the choice for me. But I know for a fact that if I wouldn't have got pushed out of the ring after I made a miss, the second half of the fight, when I'm known for coming back, I'm known for, not that I was down multiple rounds, but I believe that he was starting to fade out, and I was starting to come on strong and making him miss, and that was taking a toll on him because he's a big swinger. And I know that it's going to be dangerous early in a fight, and I know that I had a chin that can hold up to anybody's punch, as you've seen. And he got frustrated. It reminded me of the Robert Allen fight when I was starting to give him a boxing lesson. I was making him miss and frustrating him. And next thing you know, I'm out pushed out of the ring when Mills Lane was refereeing the fight, like the famous Mills Lane. So that's to me like a deja vu, where at least I had a chance to go ahead and redeem that.
So you know the replay doesn't show that you were pushed out, but it shows that you kind of fell out. I think his forearm was on you, but it wasn't like a blatant he pushed you out. It looked like you got caught with something and you slipped through the ropes. You seem very...
The momentum of both things, the momentum of what you said and the momentum of me backing up against towards the rope.
You seem very... Like, we've seen you lose to Kovalev. You didn't seem as upset as this. And when I came in, I overheard you say into this locker room right now, I overheard you say I kept going to give him a TKO. It seems that is bothering you right now, the fact that goes down on your record as a stoppage loss.
But reason I said that is because I'm really still in shock. Like, y'all, they going to give him a fight, knowing that if the replay showed that even if his elbow touched me and throwing a punch and he's leaning up, then I went through the ropes. I didn't dive through the ropes. You see, the momentum took me through the ropes. And I think I hit my head. Everybody see they heard a thump hit my head, but I was more or less worried about my ankle than my head until I realized later seconds that I did hit my head. But no, Max, I wasn't going to holler and scream and jump and say, oh, and, and all this stuff like that, because to me, I believe everybody's seen what was going on, and maybe I get a chance to go ahead and see if I can fight on it, which I couldn't, or see what the referee was going to do. But that's why I was more, even if they would have called it a no contest, even if they would have called it, whatever, but not a loss, because I don't think that it was warranted. Like, maybe you say the rules after 4 rounds, after 5 rounds, but this was definitely a momentum pushing me from his body, forearm or shoulder or punch, then the forearm.
Look, Bernard,
it's definitely to me, and I don't know what everybody else seen, but I know.
What just happened? Will the sound go out? Give me 1 minute.
Beat a world-class fighter who's coming off a win at the age of almost 52.
Or shoulder or punch, then the forearm.
Look, Bernard,
it's definitely to me, and I don't know what everybody else seen, but I know I was leaning on the ropes and he threw a punch and it sort of glazed, and I backed up on the ropes. Next time I know his body is on me, and I went through the ropes.
You are attempting to do something today that no one's ever done in the history of boxing. Beat a world-class fighter who's coming off a win at the age of almost 52. That would have been a record by some measure. And this was billed as your last fight. But given it is your last fight, you will not fight again?
No.
Why not?
One reason is, Max, because I promised I wouldn't. And enjoying myself color commentating with your handsome face and Jim Lampley. But, I think that when you come to a point in life where you know when this is final because there's nothing else to do in the game of boxing as far as making history and doing certain things. And also spending daughter right here, as you told you, NYU. And then other things going on in my life, Max. And again, along with the HBO family, Golden Boy, can't forget that. I'm happy in my life of retirement. This is billed as the final one. Controversy, draw, split, whatever you want to call it, win, knockout, or less. It doesn't matter. I believe that the crowd and the fans know for a fact that I went out like a soldier, and I always fought the toughest and the baddest fighter in the era that I boxed, or even before or after, Max. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that, but I'm not saying that, I agree, but it is what it looks like or what it is, and I know what happened. I'm not in denial.
Bernard,
Joe's a tough, strong, heavy-handed puncher. I have a lot of candidates swing for technique and skill, strong, and come forward. But I think that Max, knowing people knowing my style, knowing I'm not a fast starter, this was the round that I know that I was about to go ahead and make something happen.
we've covered that, and we got to get the business done. But I just want to tell you that if this is indeed your last fight, and it sounds like it is, it was a pleasure covering your career, one of the genuine all-time greats of the game, and an honor to cover your last fight. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Max Kellerman and Bernard Hopkins. Here's another.
That shit was sad. And being from Philadelphia, it's my duty to support all Philly fighters, whether they're old or 52 years old. But in my personal opinion, he should have gave Joe Smith Jr. some props. I'm sorry. For him, for his last fight, to go out like that, talking about Joe Smith pushed him, and we know how B-Hop is. Most likely, I'm pretty sure B-Hop knew that he wasn't pushed. But he just can't believe that he would have lost in his fashion. And he won't fess up to it. He was knocked out by a clean punch, and he flew out the ring. And one thing I noticed is that when he would lean on the ropes, he was doing a lot of upper body movement. And with that upper body movement, sometimes he was dipping and ducking a little too low. And just so happened, Joe Smith adjusted his punches to Bernard Hopkins ducking that low and caught him and knocked his ass out of the ring. He knocked his ass out of the ring. Bernard Hopkins got knocked out of the ring. What's that movie? I think it's called Penitentiary, where the dude get punched and he goes flying out the ring and like into the wall or some shit. That's what that reminded me of. When I seen Bernard Hopkins just laying there, and whoever that angel was that put their hand behind B-Hop's head to hold his head up. This was sad. I can't do anymore. Not like this, B-Hop. Not like this. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. I'll give you an update once I get my ass better. Please subscribe.